Geoff, we've drawn 2-2 away at Elmstead, but might think that was a game we should have won, especially as we were up in the second half again.
Disappointed, really, really disappointed. I said to the guys, if we don't win today, half time, we've got no one but to blame but ourselves. When you dominate a game like this, pretty much for the majority of the game, and again, it's the errors which we've been discussing before, because we shouldn't really be conceding. Even if we do, it should be one. It should never be two. And it's just that naivety which has happened before in previous games where an incident has happened on the sidelines, square up, a little bit of a flare up, and then for those next 5 minutes, we've been sucked into what they want because they can't beat us on the ground. Lapse of concentration, 2-2, and then we're chasing the game. Trying to find a little bit of quality to finish it. But it's disappointing because, like I said, look, eventually, as I said before, we've got to start winning these games, especially with teams in and around us. Yes, not too much damage has happened in terms of it's a draw, but we're the position we're in now, we do have to put a run together to get us back in. Today was a great chance, then we could have potentially, gone into next week with a bit more confidence, win there. All of a sudden, you find yourselves back in the playoff positions, and then you can work from there. But yeah, it's a chance missed again, and we can't keep doing it, especially in positions where we're in winning situations. Get Brad and Ropes again, 2-1. It's
Yeah.
Tennessee, better team, a lapse of concentration. We switch off 2-2. You know what I mean? And the game can go either way. So yeah, we just need to do better. We need to learn very, very quickly. Otherwise, like I say, what we're going to end up being is a mid-table team trying to get into the playoffs, sort of by hoping results go our way, which is not good enough because obviously once you do get there, you still got to play these teams anyway. So you do have to have that. No, as I say, it's the dark arts, but we need to be much better at it. The players are disappointing, but listen, we only have ourselves to blame. As I said, when you control games like this and you don't win, who else has to take the blame?
Okay. The first goal we scored was nice interplay between Noah and Junior as well, and the second goal came from Cam as well. Attacking wise, this was quite a good performance.
I still think we could have created more. I think, and then when we got them in at half time, it's about us understanding what's in front of us. So initially, we started off a little bit deeper just to start to see what they were about. But after 10, 15 minutes, we realised they couldn't play, or they were trying to play into midfield, and we could snap the ball and win it quite high. But then if you were to assess the game, look at them at the times we got into the action zones, which is very important. What did we really produce?
Yeah.
It's that final ball, that final cutback. A couple headers. We've got to be more clinical. Because again, I'm looking at us and I'm saying we've got a +2 goal difference, which shouldn't be the case. For the chances we create, we need to be more clinical. We don't have a knack of sort of burying teams, which we see other teams doing, 4, 5, 6. We very rarely do that because our conversion rate needs to be much better. Because then what that does, it just makes the game more easier for everyone else. Because the opposition tends to, if it goes 3 and 4, they sort of start give up, or the opposition bench might make changes. Do you understand? But every time, if it's only a goal ahead, maybe 2 ahead, they're in it because they know another goal back, and then they're back in the game. So yes, it's, as I said, it's disappointing. I mean, you could say there's a lot of positive points, and we're still on a run. We're still undefeated, but we just got to win here. That's all. It doesn't matter. We're at that period of the season where even performances, they don't really count for much. You just got to get results on the ball because the performances can come at the back end. So yeah, it's really, really disappointing. As I say, we need to do better. Like I say, because we often talk about aims and objectives, but with games like this keep going by, it just makes things really, really difficult.
Okay.
And we're putting ourselves really in a position where, only maybe a 5-6 winning game streak will put us in it, and that's really difficult. Because obviously you're hoping for a good run of fixtures, and we've got sort of mid-table run of fixtures now, so we've got to be varying these teams. Like I said, if it was a tight game, you come away from home 2-2, you take it. But when you dominate the game like this, you've got to win. There's no excuses.
Okay. We contributed a bit to their first goal as well. That started off with our possession, we playing it across. Obviously, that's frustrating as well. I suppose rather than just go through that goal, we've managed to feel quite a settled side and a strong side for the last, I think, 4 games since the Briding game, really, as well. The sort of flip side or the consistency of what you're saying is, this is our best side close to it, and it's not really happening at the moment. Is that, and before we didn't really know whether this was we were constantly changing and everything like that. So it's a bit of a where do we go from here type question.
Yeah, I think it's trying to sharpen up really, and again we're still in the aspect of still trying to add a few, which we discussed before previously. Just add a little bit more competition, especially in sort of like the forward areas. I still think we're a little bit short in terms of sort of game changes, and we're at the moment we're sort of maybe moving Tammy. Who's unfortunate to get on today. You know, Bailey potentially, we know can play further up, but then we're still putting sort of round pegs and square holes. So we're still looking for a little bit of quality. That if the levels of Fred and Noah do drop off, bring that streaking can. If they give us a strong 70 minutes, you want someone to come on and maybe change the game. Give us a little bit of energy and a bit of just enthusiasm and then a bit of a press, which is obviously why we opted when we took Cam off. I know we just wanted to again 2-1 up. Someone who's naturally good at the press, Louis, come on, just to hold it up for us, consolidate the game, get through those first 10 minutes, which is always the most difficult part when you score late on. It's those next 10 minutes. Even if nothing happens in those next 10 minutes, then you're in the most process of seeing out the game. But again, we've allowed them to get into the game, and they've got a draw, which I think they'll be happy with. On the balance of the game, they would have taken that at 2-1.
Could have nicked it at the end with Jack made a save. Apparently, everyone thought he'd missed, but apparently Jack made a save.
Yeah. And it was difficult. I mean, I'll be honest. In the first half, Fred was in about 3-4 times, and the line on that side didn't have a clue. I mean, it was just waving the flag today. I don't know what the issue is. We tried to speak to the ref. Obviously, you heard Mellors on the side. It's very frustrating. You just want a little bit of consistency. That's it. Even if it's 2 out of the 2, you can say there's a balance, but you can't put your flag up for all of them.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. We don't want to. We keep saying before, we don't want to leave games to the ref. Who were very inconsistent with a couple of times that we're being dragged to the floor. He's saying play on, he's not sure. Do you know what I mean? So it's very difficult, but it's our fault, as I said. If you're 3-1 up, it doesn't matter what the ref's doing.
No, sure.
No, and that's what we need to be much better at. So all we can do, like I said, is we haven't lost today. So you look at the positives. Cam got back on the score sheet today. It was another consistent side. Training Thursday. If we can beat Greenways, it now becomes 4 points out of 2. These are sort of away games. And that's in the back of the vase. All the teams above us, I think, tend to be playing each other. So again, there is a chance for us to sort of climb. Still. So we'll take the point. We have no choice really. But it's got to be better, really. Because as I said, otherwise, what's going to happen is we're just going to become a mid-table team that's just hoping to go on a run and squeeze into the playoffs. And that means if you squeeze into the playoffs, a bit like last season, it's an away tie against one of the better teams. So we lose that advantage as well. So we've got to sharpen up in both ends really and manage the game a bit better. That's all. We haven't been doing it for the last couple of weeks, but we reverted back to the naivety again. So we need to snap out of it very quickly.
All right. Well, thank you very much. On to next week.
Thank you. Thanks for coming again. Not easy getting to a place like this.
No, I went to the wrong ground.
So did I. I was on my way. That's why I was late today. I was on my way to that one. Luckily, Briggs put the location, so we came to this one. So it's very confusing. So thanks again. Not easy coming here, and apologies we couldn't get the win.
Cheers, Geoff. Thank you.
Thank you.